It's me, Zenobia Darling. You're listening to hashtag Rockstar Life, the Coffee Break podcast. Let's go. Where the hell's my cold brew at?
Ooh, what's up, guys? It's me, Zenobia Darling. I am coming at you today on what has been... spring has sprung. It's beautiful here in Maryland. I'm recording this on Tuesday. The last 2 days have been sunny and just gorgeous. I've been walking around. I look like I'm like a backup singer for like Journey from the 80s. Like, I'm wearing a lot of like cut off muscle tanks that have like... I don't know, like spooky shit and like rock bands on them, and my blonde mohawk is popping, and I'm busting out all my cheetah print shorts. It's gorgeous. I know I took last week off, but I have to tell you, for my human job, I've been working out of Catonsville, which for anyone that's listening outside of the Baltimore metro region, I am on the east side of Baltimore. So in Harford County, and I'm stationed at Essex for my day job, but there's two campuses for the Community College of Baltimore County, which is where I work at as part-time as an art install coordinator. Yes, there's my human job. So I know many of you guys listen and know me from there. So hello. So I'm back and forth between the Essex Gallery and the Art Gallery in Catonsville. And in Catonsville, it's near BWI Airport on the other side of Baltimore. So you have to go through the tunnel. And ever since that goddamn Key Bridge collapse and that whole mess of it all, traffic through the Harbor Tunnel and the Fort McHenry Tunnel has been fucking ridiculous. And last week, it was rough. I was making up with a good friend who we had a fight over the past few weeks. And, so that kind of was a little taxing, just like dealing with that, plus sitting in like an hour and a half traffic, getting from Catonsville back up to Havre de Grace. It's crazy. And then fucking today, beautiful day, I see where 95, that's the Fort McHenry Tunnel, is backed up. And then so I'm like, okay, the Waze lady tells me to take the Harbor Tunnel, which is 895. Well, I get on that thing. I probably didn't move. The car didn't fucking move for like 20 minutes. Like, what? And there was nothing. There's nothing. Just a bunch of damn trucks, because all the damn truckers, they would take the Key Bridge all the time, because a lot of hazmats and stuff couldn't go through the tunnel, so they take the Key Bridge. And a lot of times on a day like today, when I saw that both tunnels were backed up, I would have taken the Key Bridge, and it would have been, a beautiful day. Seriously, it's bullshit. So I am feeling the damn effects of that bridge collapsing, and I just see where the FBI raided the ship. Like, what the hell? It's crazy. Like, and that's the other thing. Like, they need to rule out if it was foul play, because they just found another body out of the whatever that river, the Patapsco. It's a mess. It's a mess. And I'm still saying Mothman missed a prime opportunity to go to Baltimore. And if you have had a Mothman sighting in the past few months leading up to this Key Bridge disaster, please message me. It's Derek at ZenobiaDarlingCreative.com. So please, seriously, message me. Like, I want to hear your emails. I want to know if Mothman was in Baltimore. Like, I feel like it is my duty as, Mothman. I mean, I will say it is Mothman. He is my sugar daddy. So, I'm just saying. If he was in Baltimore, I need to know. So let's get on with this espresso shot. So with last week, my brain not really functioning, just taking the week off. I've been laying in bed watching movies. And one of my favorite movies I watch probably once a year is none other than Madonna's Truth or Dare documentary that came out in 1991, the year I was born. So I'm not going to say my real age. I did. So yeah, I was born in 1991, and this is when Madonna's Truth or Dare came out. So I think there's some magic that happened with that, because this documentary, it is iconic. It was the first time an A-list queen, an A-list celebrity did this style of documentary. Nowadays, you got Taylor doing it, you got Gaga doing it, you got Katy Perry, you got Justin Bieber, all the bitches, you got all them lining up doing this style of like documentary. Whereas Madonna did it first. And it's so fascinating. And it also goes to prove like the artistry that is Madonna and who some of her references are. She comes from New York. She's very big in the Andy Warhol scene. She's also very big into a lot of the queer art scene. You can tell Robert Mapplethorpe, one of my favorite photographers of all time. I love Robert Mapplethorpe. He's inspired a lot of my artwork. I don't really show it a lot, but I do take pictures with nude models a lot. And the way, just because, and I don't think it's the human body, it's artwork. Like, I don't view it in like I don't know, like it's artwork. Like, the same as going to like a burlesque show or anything like that. Even porn is artwork. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't really have that line of like, oh, that's too vulgar. It's all artwork, and all art is valid. And, and I'm an art person, and I can't tell you how many damn painting classes I've been in with live nude models. Like, it's just something that when you're an artist, the human body, the human form, it's artwork. And I don't like, and also with me, when it comes to this, I don't discriminate. I've painted males, I've painted females, I've even painted trans males and trans females. I think that they need to be painted and photographed. I've also painted skinny people. I've also, painted bigger people. Every single human body is a work of art. And the way Mapplethorpe went into that style of photography was the nude form. The nude human form is a sculpture, and you're photographing it. So he's a sculptor. So that's how I go into it. And you can tell that like that really inspired Madonna's Sex Book, which is my favorite book of all time. I have 3 copies. I have one that's open that I look at probably once a month because I love it. I love reading the poetry. I have one still sealed in my bookcase, I know, and then I have another one that's locked away in a safe deposit box because it's a valuable thing. Like it's iconic. Like, and this was like right when, so she was going in, like this was 1990 when she was filming it. She was on her world famous like Blonde Ambition tour, like her number one at her greatest. This is her peak show. So this would be the equivalent of like her Eras tour for all my Swifties that sadly listen. I'm not a Taylor Swift person, sorry, but this is the equivalent of her Eras tour. Like this, it's that big. And they're just like filming it, and they're filming what happens, and it's so fascinating. It's just, I fucking love it. Like, Madonna is the greatest person that ever made. But because this is Tuesday, I'm gonna before we really get into Madonna's Truth or Dare, there has been some crazy Bravo news that broke yesterday. I got fucking whiplash. I was at work because I'm in the middle of an install for the Blaze Star exhibition at the Catonsville Gallery for CCBC. I'll put a link below. It opens in May. It is, I'm telling you, I was putting black python skin wallpaper up in the gallery. Like, and I'm giving Blaze, Google her. She's a Baltimore icon and a burlesque dancer that owned the 2 O'Clock Club on the block. And, I went to the 2 O'Clock Club, so a lot of the club is inspiring the show. And Blaze chose, when you walk into the 2 O'Clock Club, there's black python wallpaper. So we're bringing that into the art gallery. So that, I was hanging it today, and it's just like, oh, it's the best. It's the best. But anyway, so I'm at work with all, and my phone keeps going off, and people keep texting me, and it's all this goddamn Bravo news. They're just, it's constant. So up first, we read that, there's basically a slaughterhouse on Real House of Potomac, which there should be. So apparently that new girl who I don't really know her name because I didn't watch this season of Potomac, last season it set sailed. This season, I didn't even watch. I didn't give a fuck. I'm over it. So you got Robin gone. Good. You got Candace gone. Well, I'm kind of happy. Candace, I will say, Candace delivered. I will miss Candace. I hope she goes off, has her baby, and then come back. I don't want to see her pregnant. I'll tell you that much. I'm good. I'm tired of kids and just pregnancy on Bravo, because Bravo really puts out this bullshit, heteronormative lifestyle. It also shows something about our society, so that's not lost on me, but it gets really annoying. I am gay. I like men. I don't really I date, I have sex, but I'm not really a monogamous person. Yes, there are men that I talk to most of the time, I want to call them boyfriends, but they are people, and so it's I don't really subscribe to any of that stuff, and they really have the benchmarks oh, you're gonna get engaged, you're gonna get married, you're gonna have a baby, and boom, boom, boom. And I'm just like, I'm over it. It's hetero hell. Like, who wants that? Like, I'm good. Like, I'm getting a lot of that on Bravo. You're getting a lot of that on like Summer House, and don't even get me. I got the Valley on here too because some news broke about that, but I'll get that a little bit later. But it's like, I'm just tired of this. I don't care. Like, I want to see some like messy gay thruples. I want to see some ethically non-monogamous trans lesbians who are like, dating. I want to see that shit. Like, I'm tired of this like male, cis female, Walt Disney World bullshit that I don't give a fuck. Like, why are people putting themselves in this hell? Like, oh my God, like, ugh. You know what I did on Sunday? I slept until noon. I bet you anyone with a kid didn't do that. And guess what? That's my life. Hashtag rockstar life. I had a fun weekend too, I will say. I went to an underground punk show with Liz Lawson. It was amazing. I saw a band called Feral Creature. I saw another one that was like a punk EDM band. That was really cool. Yeah, and then what did I do? Oh yeah, and then Saturday I went on not a date, but I went and got pho, however you call it, with someone. So, but anyway, so more Bravo news, and then Crystal Kung Meekoff, she's off of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I mean, am I gonna miss her? Probably not. I don't really care. I thought she was boring. Thought it was real telling that like she really wasn't in the first or second episode of last season. So she's gone. She was fired. And of course, we all know Anna Marie, what's-her-face, is gone too, which is good. And I will say that Anna Marie and Crystal are getting into it on Twitter. I'm calling it Twitter. I don't give a fuck. What's it called now? XY? I don't care. It's Twitter. They're getting into it on Twitter fight. And Anna Marie was like, it's called karma. And then Crystal came back and was like, why don't you check on your homophobic rapist husband? I'm like, holy shit. Where was that Crystal on the show? That Crystal would have still been on the show. Oh, post-edit Zenobia here, guys. I just got back from the gym, and while I was on the elliptical before I started my lifting, because again, I'm in training for bodybuilding, like, and so I have that natural body shape, and like, it doesn't take me long to get like jacked. So yeah, so that's fun. So while I was at the gym, I was on social media, and apparently the Crystal Kung Meekoff and the Anna Marie what's-her-face, that whole feud, it was from a parody Crystal account, and Anna Marie didn't know that and retweeted and got real nasty. So she looks like a damn fool. That is why she was fired. I mean, really? I was sat there and I was like, what a dumb bitch. Like, how fucking stupid are you? It's a troll account. I'll tell you, it's a good one. Same profile picture. I think there's just one S in the middle of a Crystal Kung Meekoff, so it's not the real Crystal. I mean, it's a good parody account, so I could see if you had a glass of wine or you were stoned or something, you might have you might not have realized it was a parody account. But she said something nasty about the Lion King, her husband. I was like, oh God. I was like, Crystal, and then something about her shady brother or something like that. I'm like, girl, you look real damn dumb. And I'm sure Crystal is not going to respond, which that could also be why she's not on the show either. But I don't know. I just saw that and I had to do a little post-edit insert. So, boom. Let's get back to bitching to Madonna or something. You want to know who should really get fired off Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? I'm just going to say this out loud. Kyle. I think Kyle Richards needs to go. I think the bullshit that she and Mauricio are doing with their marriage, not giving us anything. I mean, they were edging us out all season. We're getting little breadcrumbs, these little like, crumbs that not even a mouse would eat. And it's like, and then you go over to the Netflix show and they're spilling everything. I don't want to watch Selling Beverly Hills. I don't have Netflix. I don't. I have Hulu, I have Peacock, I have HBO Max. I don't need Netflix. I don't give a fuck. And not only that, they don't really put out good content to me. Like, I'm not interested in it. So, I mean, my mom has it. So, I mean, if I wanted to, I guess I could easily watch it, but I mean, don't think I could, I could probably still get her password, but that's beside the point. But yeah, Kyle needs to go. I think it's time that Kyle Richards go, or or demote her to a friend of, bring back Kim Richards. I love Kim Richards. Hell, even make Kathy Hilton a housewife, but Kyle needs to be demoted. Plus, I think if they demote Kyle and then make Kathy Hilton a housewife, that would be a good season, because Kyle would be jealous and pissy. And the only Kyle I've ever liked was season 1 Kyle. And I did like Kyle when she went on, when she was in Vegas and got in Sutton's face. It was like, now you're being a bitch. Like, I like that Kyle. Like, when she's in the limo and she's like, you're such a fucking alcoholic, Kim. I want that Kyle. That Kyle has not been on Beverly Hills since season 1. Really, truly. It pisses me off. There's glimpses of it, but true Kyle, that early season Kyle, I don't think we'll ever see again. She's too much of an actress, and she's too aware of her public persona from the TV show that she would ever allow that to happen, which I think is sad. And I also think it means that she needs to be demoted. So there's my little spiel. All right, what else? Alexia, and I think, is it Louis? I don't know the dude's name. I really don't care. I know Alexia, I love Alexia, Real Housewives of Miami, icon. I mean, and her life is a fucking telenovela too. I mean, it's continuous. It's just big stakes and all sorts of craziness. And I kept saying, when I was watching, I was like, I feel like Alexia and her husband, that deck of cards is going to be falling down. I don't know if you ever watched Real Housewives of Melbourne, but it's a good one. It is a good one. But there was one where Gina Liano, who is probably one of my favorite housewives of all time. Gina Liano needs to be on an Ultimate Girls Trip. She's amazing. She gets into it with someone. She's like, your deck of cards is going to fall down. And I kept saying that to myself. I'm like, her deck of cards is going to fall. And I'm like, it's going to fall down like that damn tower mansion that she lives in. With the car elevator. I mean, how much is that shit? I'm like, something's not adding up. I don't count people's money, but also I can smell something shady a mile away. And I was smelling it. I was smelling the smell. And I was like, here we go. Here we go. So I'm not surprised. He filed against her, so we will see. I mean, but yeah, just some crazy shit. I'm telling you. I just boom. I think that was it. Let me see if there's anything else, because I think that was it. Okay, let's get into it. So apparently, Jax Taylor was posting some anti-vax stuff. I mean, are you surprised? I'm not. We know who these fucking people are. Sometimes it amazes me how smart the Bravo community is. And then other times it amazes me how fucking stupid the Bravo community is. I mean, we're not going to get into any anti-vaxxer stuff. It's too much of a spirited topic to really, I'm not going to comment on it. It is what it is. But Jax has said stuff about trying to link his son's developmental regressions on the vaccine. And it's no, I don't. I mean, I don't know. Yes, there might be evidence, but honestly, I don't know. It's ridiculous. So and I believe you have a right to say your opinion, is stupid or as wise as it is. I think people are allowed to speak their opinion. I do believe in that. But at the same time, again, I'm not commenting on it. But yeah, but I'm not surprised. We know who these fucking people are. If you remember on Vanderpump Rules, when they had their wedding, there was all that stuff because they were using a transphobic and homophobic preacher who has openly talked about, gays need to go to conversion camp, and nobody said anything. Lisa said something. It was a little quick plot line, and they quickly changed it to Lance Bass. But I remember, they weren't going to do it. So you know who these people are. And then it's real fucking rich on the Valley, which is I'm fucking loving. Kristen Doty back on my screen. Yes, please. Kristen Doty and a messy gay wearing a wig. I'm down. And then Jax, I'm telling you right now, Jax is not he's a fucking monster, but I love him on my TV. I'm just going to say that. Yeah. And, where were we at? We were at the Valley. So they're having a thing where Kristen got messy and said that the gay dude, I think his name is Ken or Zach or something, But he wears a wig and a toupee. I'm just gonna call it. Like, his hairline is not natural. His hair doesn't look natural. It just, and he looks like he ain't got a pot to piss. It looked like he got no money. I'm just saying. Not that Kristen probably has that much money, but still, I'm just saying. He looks like he's wearing some Target and H&M, which, not knocking, but just saying. But they're having a thing where Kristen and him were gossiping, saying one of the cast members, I haven't learned their names yet, is a Republican, and being a Republican makes them racist and homophobic. And like, the thing that's amazing is like, they're dancing around that and they're like so offended. But then I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, of course, like, they're all Republican. Like, that's not lost on me. Like, and they're in LA. Like, it's something where like politics has been so fucking heated and spirited, and there's such a divide, and it's just so divisive and just so like messy that like something like that, like, people are really like tribal right now. And in LA, it's one of those places where like, if you're seen as a conservative Republican, you're, and not Democrat, you're ostracized a little bit. And it's, I don't know. It's something that I noticed. So being called that will make you lose business. It's just, which I don't think is right. I mean, I think in this country, you should have the freedom to vote for whoever you want. Like, seriously, like, these are my, like, you have freedoms to say your opinion, your political beliefs, anything like that, whether they're stupid or wise. But at the same time, you have that freedom. And it's one of those things where I find it real rich that's coming in. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, of course they're all Republican. We all know Jax is. I mean, he clearly is shouting some like MAGA bullshit. We know. Don't get me started on Brittany, she's like a fucking horse, hee-haw, a little Brantley, whatever the kid's name is. It's like, it's like a Brantley, a Braden, a Jordan, just some like fucked up bastardized version of what she thinks Shakespeare is. I mean, let's be real. And then she's always hee-hawing like a damn horse. It's like, girl, you're in Los Angeles. Like, you were in Encino or, Studio City, or you're in the Valley of California in Los Angeles. Like, it's just crazy. And she's, oh my God. And they're just in hell. And I'm so happy they're getting divorced. Like, it's nuts. It's just, I could go on for days about the Valley. It's so, I don't know. And then the one person, you can tell their marriage is like, I don't know their names, but you can tell their marriage is like fucked. You can tell they don't love each other. It is what it is. And it cracks me the fuck up. It just does. They're in hetero hell. And then the one dude, the one actor, the juice head, I actually like him. Like, he seems like he's a good dad. So I don't know. It's just, it was crazy. But all right, let's see. Because I know there was a lot that broke yesterday. Let me, apparently Monica from Salt Lake City is pregnant with her 5th kid. I mean, girl, go get your tubes tied. Like, for God's sake, or wear a condom, or like, you have 5 fucking kids. Like, girl, it's like, I'm exhausted for her. Like, what? Like, that's just, it's gross. Okay. Yeah. It's all Potomac shit that I don't give a shit about. So yeah. All right. Ad break. I got to pay for all this damn coffee I'm drinking and tea I'm spilling. It's me, Zenobia Darling. So, as many of you know, I'm more than just a podcaster, stand-up comic, and drag queen. I'm also a very accomplished painter and photographer, and you can check it all out on ZenobiaDarlingCreative.com. I have an art blog on there sponsored by the Harford County Cultural Arts Board, and just all my paintings, photography, you get podcast stuff. I have an art film that premiered in September that you can buy on there too. So make sure you check it out. It supports me, supports the podcast. All right, so let's get back to the podcast. I got that out of the way. Let's get into Madonna's Truth or Dare. And I'm telling you, Madonna makes me queen out. So you're going to hear a lot of Madonna. Madonna's the best. You're going to hear like the New York, New Jersey gay come out of me. I'm just going to say it right now because I fucking love Madonna. I was 6-7 years old on the back of my grandmother's porch doing the original choreography to like Justify My Love and Vogue and all that. It is. I mean, I have VHS tapes of it that I still watch because I'm like, nothing has changed. And Madonna has always been so big in my life. I like Madonna. Like, my favorite Madonna era is the erotica era that came in 1994. It's just iconic. I also love Blonde Ambition Madonna. Rebel Heart Madonna, one of her more recent albums, is the best. I saw Madonna in December for the Celebration tour when it made its DC stop, like right before Christmas, and it fucking blew my mind. She is, to be 65 or 64, I forgot exactly how old she is, still doing the original choreography, still doing about 3-hour show that was very active, a lot of costume changes, a lot of everything. Just the fact that she's still doing it at her age and she can still deliver high theater art like that, it truly is a testament to her as a person. Like, there will never be another Madonna. Like, Madonna is the best. She's the best. I fucking love her. I fucking love Madonna. So the Blonde Ambition tour, it came out in 1991. I already said that. But this really is like, it was groundbreaking. It truly was. I first watched it, I think it was like 2005, I think, because my mom wouldn't really like let me, like, I could listen to Madonna's music, but when it came to anything that was more risque or anything time when it dealt with sex, no. And like, I remember a lot of people in my family, they always called Madonna like a slut and a whore. Like, they were really judgmental towards her. I always loved Madonna. I seriously, I always have. And I mean, I watched it, and I remember watching this, and this was before, like, Real Housewives. This was before, like, reality TV really kicked off. I think around the time I watched it, you had Nick and Jessica, you had the Ashley Simpson show, you had the Osbournes. I believe Kathy Griffin might have been on, like, her first season of My Life on the D-List. Being Bobby Brown was out, and that's when I watched it, because I forget where it was. It aired on, like, MTV or something, like an edited version of it. And I remember watching it being like, wait a minute, this is Madonna. I'm like, oh, I love it. I mean, they film her Blonde Ambition tour too. So she comes out, she's performing Express Yourself with like the Metropolis back set with like the, and the Death of a Salesman. What is it? I don't know. It's like, it's one of those like machinery sets, and the men and like the gay dancers, we'll get into, are like, moving shit around, and and it's set by Metropolis, which is like a silent film from like the 20s. And then you get Madonna with like the infamous cone bra, and she's in like, she has on the lingerie on the outside, and she's in like pants and like a button up, and her hair's blonde, and she got the little Madonna headset that Kathy Griffin uses now when she does her stand up. So I remember always seeing those performances. She does Express Yourself. She does Like a Virgin, which we'll get into. She does Oh Father, which is like, I don't know, one of her slower ballads. She does Vogue, and then she ends it with Keep It Together, which is one of my favorite Madonna songs. I forget what album it's on, but it might be on the one right before, like, yeah, it came around the time of the Blind Ambition, but that's one of the only times she's ever performed it. And she does like chair choreography, and it also has like a vaudeville, like 1920s, like vibe to it, which is kind of cool. But yeah, like I remember seeing those performances, and then I actually watched the movie, and I was blown away. And even then, like my little reality show brain, even though I was in like, I think I was like a freshman in high school, like when I watched it, like I got it, and my brain saw, like, I was like, okay, like she did something, like, and when it came out in 1991, I mean, you had The Real World just premiered. You had the start of this like documentary style reality show like media. This was like the early start of it. And back then there wasn't a lot of producer editing or self-editing or self-producing in the show. Like, it was very real, and it was more of a social experiment and more of like, fly on the wall with the camera. And like the stuff like before, like Real Housewives, like as much as I love it, they all know what they're doing. They all know what they're signing up for. They know how to play the game. People that back then did not know how to play it. This is a whole new like genre. This is about 10 years also before like Survivor really took reality show mainstream. So you watch it, and it has like a good narrative. Like it's I don't know, it's amazing. And there had been other celebrity documentaries before this, but this was really one where like Madonna really like, like, and this is one of my first points, like, she really owned her fame and her celebrity in this. She was not afraid of it. Like, she knew, I'm fucking Madonna and I'm on camera right now. And Madonna's really big about, like, on camera, off camera. Like, when you go to her shows, like, she doesn't want you videoing her. But back then, like, she understands the camera and what it does. And you can tell she's fucking on. Like, yes, there's Madonna, and yes, there's the stage presence, the drag persona Madonna, which I always say. Because, you know, Lady Gaga, like, there's Stephanie, and then her pop singer drag persona is Lady Gaga. That's what you're seeing. Oh my God. So I love this movie. Like, I know Lady Gaga did this movie. She did this style of movie, I should say. She did, what is it, 5'2", her documentary. She didn't really have much, I haven't seen it in a while, because again, it's kind of unmemorable, but you could tell Gaga is definitely like doing that Madonna, because they all fucking have. But in it, she says something very interesting about Madonna. I'll just play it for you.
I admired her always, and I still admire her, no matter what she might think of me. No, I do.
Yeah.
The only thing that really bothers me about her is that I'm Italian and from New York, you know? So, like, if I got a problem with somebody, I'm gonna tell you to your face. But no matter how much respect I have...
Are you kidding me? Yes, Lady Gaga, call that bitch out. Like, that's the thing. Like Lady Gaga delivers that shit, and you knew, because everyone wants to know. Ever since she came out, I mean, she's always said she's our generation's Madonna. She's our generation's Madonna. She, you know, what was it? Born This Way sounds like Express Yourself, and Babylon sounds like Vogue, and she's doing Madonna, and she's sexual like Madonna, and it's like, no. For one thing, they all these pop stars, all these pop drag queens. You know, like, they all, I view them as drag queens, and they're all doing the same mold that Madonna did started in the late 80s, early 90s, captured in this thing. Oh my God, I'm stoned too. God damn. Ugh, lose a track. God, this is why I don't get stoned and do a podcast. I mean, for fuck's, you know, I'm just gonna take another hit. Fuck it. There. Ooh, that was a big. I need a cigarette. Ooh. Oh, I don't smoke. But yeah, this is why I don't get stoned in podcasts, because it turns into a fucking mess. So, where are we at? Yeah, but this is the thing about all these pop stars is they all, I mean, Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, Britney, all these, I mean, Slater, Kim Petras. Oh, can we get started about Kim Petras? I fucking love Slut Pot Miami. That song, Rim Job. I will say I got a rim job a little bit ago to that song, and it added the perfect touch to an amazing rim job. So we'll just say that. But yeah, I love it. But all these pop stars are doing what Madonna started in this era. Like, they're all copying her blueprint. And it just so happens that Lady Gaga and her have very similar upbringings. They have, I mean, her and Lady Gaga have very similar pop drag art styles. They have the same artistry. There's pros and cons to each. And there's, you know, there are likenesses and there are things where they're not alike at. And, you know, I find that fascinating. People don't want to focus on the things they're not alike in, because there are some big things how they're not alike. But Madonna and Lady Gaga, they are very similar, and I think that's what people are talking about. And also, like, it's pop music. Like, it's not like it's, you know, I consider pop music to be high art. I know a lot of people don't have that thing, but I mean, it's you know, it is. I mean, she did have Zed work on art pop, so I mean, that definitely is something. I mean, Zed he has classical musician background. So, I mean, and he does EDM, and I can tell because he has an elevated style of music that I can pick up on from, like, you know, I have a theater degree. Yeah. And I dated a band person for like 2 semesters when I was at Towson. He was a nut job. He was a fuckwad. So he was a douchebag. He's still working at ShopRite too, which cracks me up. Saw him like, what was it? Like 6 months ago. I'm like, oh, hi, still working the deli, the ShopRite. Ha ha ha. Look at me. I'm Zenobia motherfucking darling. But anyway, Madonna, like, the whole time, she's fucking staged Madonna. Like, you can tell she's like, purposely self-producing herself, and I think that was something that made it so brilliant. And she fucking delivered too, but she wasn't afraid of it, because there was one scene where she's like dragging on her childhood friend who became like a stripper and has like 5 kids, and they show the kid talking to her in the hotel room, and all her 5 little feral children are like jumping on the bed and running around and like, and she's like, I just love Madonna, I love her, and she got like some 90s like poof haircut and like a striped like Walmart brand shirt, trying to look like she all cute, and she was cute, but she's on there and she got the 5 kids screaming. She's like, I love Madonna. And then she gives her like a painting, which Madonna actually took, but she talked to Madonna. You can tell like Madonna was like, we're putting this bitch on camera. And like Madonna came up, and this is when I really was like, okay, Madonna, you're fucking Madonna. You know that you're at the peak of your career. You're at the peak of everything. And you're going to make her squirm. So right beforehand, she goes to the camera, starts talking shit about this girl, saying that she lies, she does all this shit. So she makes her wait, and she refuses to meet with the kids. So she makes her wait for the girl to present it at backstage at one of her shows. This is like halfway through the documentary. And the girl's talking, she's like, well, I was on drugs, and I was a new dancer and whatnot, but me and Madonna loved each other. We've been childhood friends. And I don't know why. I don't think she has a southern accent, because I think she's from Detroit, but and Madonna's like, she never finger fucked me. We never kissed. None of that shit. And then you could tell, like, the funny part was like the girl she wants to ask Madonna for money. Like, you could tell she's like, I got 5 kids. And Madonna's like, not about it. And then she's like, I want you to be my kid's godmother. And Madonna's like, I gotta think about that. And then Madonna's like, I really can't stay. I gotta go. I can't. And you could just tell Madonna was like, I'm gonna bring this bitch on camera so y'all can see what I deal with and how a fucking queen does it. And Madonna fucking delivered. It's one of like my favorite scenes, because God, it's fucking Madonna. Like, and she's not afraid to drag somebody. Like there's a producer, the documentary guy, I think his name's like Alec. It's not Kardashian, because you look at it and like in my dyslexic brain, I'm like, oh, Alec Kardashian. No, it's Kardashian or something. It's like he was a documentary film, or is. I don't know if he's still alive, and I haven't really Googled him or anything, but but you can tell, like, they knew what they were doing, and Madonna's like, and then Madonna, as soon as, like, real quick, like, 5-minute exchange, takes the framed artwork, and then she goes and talks shit about her. It's amazing. And that's something about Madonna I love. She is not afraid to talk some shit, and she's good at it, and she's shady, and Madonna knows she's a fucking queen. Like, she knows she's a queen, everyone else is beneath her, don't waste her time. Because that's something else. Like, Madonna serves her fucking queeniness. Like, there is many times where she's melting down. Many times. They're having technical issues. Well, it starts out because they start the tour in Japan, and it's monsooning, and it's blizzarding, and it's cold and rainy, and she's pissed because she's like, we had to edit the show, and blah, blah, blah. I wanted to just kill myself. I wanted to take a belt and like just being dramatic. And she's like flipping out, like completely flipping out. And it's one of those first times, like right out bat, it's because Madonna, she goes to yell about in rehearsal, and she's like, can we stop? I'm not doing this. And then she like flips out, but she does it very diplomatically, but it's very stern, and she means business. Like, Madonna, like, in that sense, I'm like, queen, own it. Like, it's amazing. And it also, I like it because Madonna's very masculine, and people want to judge that, but she comes across, like, the way she does business, the way she queens out is very masculine. And I think if a guy did it, it wouldn't have an issue, but because Madonna did it, people have issues. But like, it's Madonna. Like, she's leading the show and you're fucking up the sound, and she's pissed. Because there was one scene where she goes to actually talk to the dude about the show, and she looks at the camera, goes to follow her in, and she's like, we're having a business meeting, no filming, and shuts the door on it. And I'm like, Madonna, you know what you're doing. And that's also when I was like, oh, you're fucking delivering, aren't you? Madonna, you know what you're doing. You know what you are motherfucking doing. And I love it. Oh, yeah, and then there was a time where they were having technical issues, and she goes back to she's like, what the fuck? This is ridiculous. Like, it was happening during Open My Heart and live and do it together, and just was like, but the show kept going. And because Madonna, that's something else. Like, we've also seen her fall on television. Like, the show goes on. That's a theater thing. Most of theater school is teaching you something fucks up, keep going. Don't stop the show. And she never did. And I love it. And like, she's not afraid to queen out, and she's cussing, and she got that fucking water bottle, and she's like, I don't know if she has her makeup on, but I don't know if she is like spraying her throat like with stuff, or it's water and she's drinking water, but she doesn't want to drink out of a water bottle because she's gonna fuck up her makeup. So it's so fucking good. So one of the most iconic scenes in the whole film is when she makes a tour stop in Toronto. So in the show, like, I've seen taped recordings of this show. I mean, I'm pretty, I don't know. Like, I wish I could see it. I really wish I could. But I've seen tape recordings of the Blind Ambition tour, and it's amazing. And during it, it's kind of a journey from darkness to light. And during it, one of the scenes during Like a Virgin, she masturbates. Like, it's a scene about like being pro masturbation. This was really her first foray into, you know, her erotica era. Like, you can see like she's starting to go that way. And I think also, like, she's an artist. Art's supposed to be provocative, and masturbation is something everyone does. Like, you know, people have a lot of shame about it. You know, have fun, jerk off, vibrate out. Like, seriously, do your thing. Like, it's fun. Do it with other people too. Seriously, like, you know, I mean, I've done it. I mean, I've jerked off with several of my guy friends. Like, it's something that I don't know, like, it happens. Like, you know, but even if you're by yourself, do it. There's no shame in it. Like, seriously, like, do it. And she's on, and she wants to give artistic commentary about that and about the pervasive shame of sexuality, and especially like self-pleasure on stage. And so she does this, like, I don't know, she's on a bed with like silk sheets, and she's in like the John Paul Gaultier like bustier, and no, was it Gaultier? I don't forget who did it, but she's in like one of the iconic like bustier outfits. And there's like the two dancers that are kind of like gender fuck and have like cone bras on. And she does this like Egyptian, Middle Eastern like remix of Like a Virgin. And then she starts like masturbating, like playing with, like, you don't actually see her pussy, but like, you know, she is like, she's simulating like masturbating and having an orgasm, and like really like, you know, fucking like the bed and stuff. Like, I mean, it gets pretty raunchy. And on her last night, so she had two tour dates in Toronto, and the first tour dates, there were off-duty police officers at the show, and they saw it, and they told their higher ups that there was a lot of indecency in it. So the marshal came to the arena and said that if they don't cut the masturbation scene, that they're gonna arrest her on stage and fine her. And Madonna, being fucking Madonna, is like, fuck that. Like, I'm not changing my goddamn show. I'm an artist, and I have the freedom to express myself however I want, and that's my artistic freedom. And she's like, and we're in fucking Canada, which, like, that's something that I don't think people realize. Like, Canada got a little bit more, like, I don't know. They're really good at acting. I'll just say that. And I'll just say that. And like, you really see her, and you really see like the tour manager, you really see like Madonna's people like talking to the police officers, and they're pissed. Like, they're just having back and forth. And Madonna's just like, I'll cancel. The police officer's like, well, that's your choice, but we're just saying like, don't do it. And Madonna's like, fuck it. And then she goes out, and then, you know, and of course her and her backup dancers are out coming, they're walking down singing Holiday, and then saying like, and then Madonna like turns right in front of the police officers and spits on the ground, and she's like, can't arrest me for that. And I'm like, fucking Madonna, like, delivering. Like, she's such a queen. Like, she also did this like when Russia was coming for Madonna for her show in like 2000, like, I don't know, like 8 or 9. Madonna said the same thing when Russia was trying to come for Gaga for the gay stuff. She told him, like, come and arrest me then, motherfuckers. Like, fuck you. Which I'm like, yes. I love that type of energy. Like, that's so punk rock. And Madonna handled it like a queen. So then you see all that drama, and then you see, like, the tape version of Like a Virgin. So you see the masturbation scene, you see it. And then it cuts to right at the end of it, like a news article from like the Detroit News or like the National News. Pop singer Madonna was almost arrested last night at her show for public masturbation scene or something like that. And it's just like, they cut it so well. And I love that they are using like the media of that time to put it in there. Like, hey, like, Madonna, like she's A-list. Like she makes national news when something like that happens. And I like that they incorporate it, because I think a lot of documentaries now, they incorporate the media from all those years ago, because we have all this like archived and we can learn a lot from it. And that was really the first time that happens. And you just get to show like Madonna is fucking an A-list right now. Like she is a fucking superstar. Like she almost got arrested and doesn't give a fuck. Like, So the other part of this documentary that also fucking loves me is she is very pro-gay. She's always has been, and she features a lot of her gay backup dancers. I mean, many of them are queens. I think a few of them do have HIV. I mean, this was 1990. I know AZT was probably just coming out, but like AIDS and HIV was still a death sentence, and it was decimating the gay population. I mean, and Madonna, like that was something else that like at Madonna's celebration tour that I saw in December, like a few months ago, like she did Live to Tell, and she had portraits of all the gay men that we lost from AIDS that she actually like personally knows. So you had Keith Haring, you had Robert Mapplethorpe. I talked about him before. You had, you know, like all like Freddie Mercury's another one, but there was a lot of other ones that Madonna personally knew and saw them die. And it's sad. And also like, she's also been very affected by drug addiction too. Like Basquiat died of a heroin overdose and she was in love with him. So, you know, they dated, and I think I'm the love child that they never had. So, but she's not afraid to like be very pro-gay. You know, she kind of is a gay man in a way. Like she has a lot of gay lingo. You can tell because she does it. And there's one of the straight backup dancers. He actually says like, "You're getting me with that fag shit," and you're kind of like, "Whoa." But it's, you know, and Madonna kind of laughs at it. But you're kind of seeing where Madonna is like. She is very like pro-gay, and she loves her gays, and she's proud of them, and they're part of her like family, and you know, and we get to see that. And I will say a lot of them have accents. A lot of them have that like old school New York Queens accent, you know, "Hello, darling, you'll never talk about me." Like that old school New York drag queen accent that a lot of gay men have, like in this, like not so much in Baltimore. Like I have a mix of it with like definitely more like John Waters and like Baltimore, but there's like a very specific accent that a lot of like if you watch any of the Andy Warhol films, like Candy Darling, My Drag Mom, they kind of talk like this, and "You'll never have me, darling, you can never," you know, like stuff like that. Some of them talk like that. Some of them have that accent, which I really appreciate. It's very specific. Another one's Belgian, which that cracks me up. But like you see the gays, and Madonna's hanging out with them, because there's one scene towards the end, I think they're in like Paris or something, where like Madonna's with them and they're playing Truth or Dare, and Madonna full on gives a blowjob to a bottle and shows them how it's done, and like she shoves it in her throat. Of course, you know, all the gays are like, "Honey, that's all you can do," because you know they know how to deep throat and like choke on some dick. But, you know, and Madonna can too. I mean, let's just be real. Madonna knows how to suck some dick, and she proves it in this documentary. It's fucking amazing. What else? Oh, they go to Pride. And this was in 1990. Like, Pride then and Pride nowadays are very different. I will say Pride back then looks more fun. It looks more gay. Nowadays, Pride is very capitalistic. It's kind of, I don't know. It's a little overblown, but I mean, it's a good thing too, because, and also now, like back then, Pride really was more of a riot and more of like a celebration of like, hey, we're fucking here, and they were losing people so quickly of AIDS that it was a party and a celebration of life. Nowadays, I mean, I think a lot of companies use it as a money making tool. I mean, but we also have some political stuff because, again, idiots, you know, who have the freedom to say whatever they want, keep coming for gays, keep coming for drag queens, keep coming for trans kids. And quite frankly, I think they all need to shut the fuck up. Like, I'm just going to say that. Like, you know, I'm a drag queen. You know, we all know this. I'm Zenobia motherfucking Darling. You know, I know many drag friends that are kid friendly. I'm not. And you know what? Kids understand what drag is, and kids love it. If you go to Disney World, you're seeing a fucking drag queen if you see Cinderella. I'm just saying. There's no difference. But yeah, so you're seeing them go to Pride, and they're also meeting their families too. Like you see a lot of them meet their families, meet stuff. I like it. It makes me happy. And we also get Sandra Bernhard in it, and she's talking about like you know, having sex in New York as a lesbian, like openly on camera, and Madonna loves it. And you see that, and you see, I don't know, I love seeing Sandra Bernhardt because her and Madonna are generally friends. Like, it's very good. It's very good. So all in all, like you can rent it on Amazon for like, I don't know, I paid like $4 to rent it. I mean, I should probably just buy it at this point. I mean, I do have a DVD of it. I just have a lot of that stuff packed away at my mom's house, so I haven't seen it. So I know I have either a VHS copy or a DVD copy of it. I can't remember, but I mean, it's on Amazon, so I mean, don't be cheap. Just like, you know, it's $4 buy it. But it is very real. It is a very well done documentary. It's just a good movie. It's just such a good movie. And also another sign of a good movie, and I'll end it with this, is a little bit after, I think it was like this was like 1993, 1994. I forget who it was. I think it was Julie Brown. I forget which Julie Brown it was, but she did a like spin-off or a spoof of it. Let me see if I can find it. It's Medusa, Dare to be Truthful. And it was there it is. Medusa, Dare to be Truthful. It's a mockumentary satire, came out in 1991 with Julie Brown. And it's a mockumentary of the of the Blind Ambition tour with Medusa. And it stars none other than Kathy Griffin, my idol, queen, icon, legend, Kathy Griffin. The reason why I'm in the stand-up comedy, my number one, I'm a Kathy gay. I'm a catheter. So, you know, it stars, Kathy Griffin is in as a backup dancer, but it's definitely really like, it's good to see. It's good to see because I always say when something's really good and it gets parodied, that is a sign of respect and that you're on that level. And the fact that it got parodied like that, it's a testament to how good Madonna Truth or Dare is. It's by far one of my top 10 movies. I will watch it easily. I mean, at least once every 6 months, if not more. Like it's good. I mean, I definitely have a list of like Showgirls I watch all the time. Madonna Truth or Dare, like Lady Gaga's Live from Madison Square Garden. Aaron Brockovich. God, there's so many freaking movies. Joan Rivers, A Piece of Work. That's a good one. Maybe I'll do an espresso shot on that one. I don't know. But I don't know. There's certain movies and documentaries that I watch all the time, and this is one of them. And I think that everybody in the world should see Madonna Truth or Dare. It just explains so much. It just makes my big gay heart happy. So with that, I'm going to end this espresso shot. Make sure you like and subscribe on all social medias. You know, go to my website, check it out, check out my art photography. I got a lot of stuff coming up this summer, so it'll be some fun. All right, guys, peace out. Back up to the UFO.